largest industrial action since 1989 is taking place, starting tomorrow and continuing through the weekend, after an overwhelming amount of rail and TfL staff voted in favour of walking out in strike. Members of the Rail, Maritime and Transport Union at Network Rail and 13 train operators will strike on Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday, with only around 1 in 5 trains running and disruption to service on days following the action. TfL are just staging a strike tomorrow. However, both walkouts are completely separate and are calling for different things. Well, if you are using social media, you'll have seen questions being raised as to why drivers are striking since they get paid so well. So let's take a look at what TfL strikes are calling for. Well, for them, it's nothing to do with pay. It's actually a strike against changes to their pension, potential job cuts and dangerous working conditions, which has been a reoccurring reason for strikes over the last couple of years. The train strikes are different, however. Now, they are striking because of low wages and compulsory redundancies. Now, only a small percentage of these people striking are train drivers. Most are in jobs such as cleaners, maintenance workers, ticketers, and so on. The RMT union told me that the average earning of these rail staff striking are between £25,000 and £30,000 a year, and said rail staff who worked through the COVID pandemic were facing pay freezes and hundreds of job cuts. Despite all of this, the strikes threaten travel chaos for commuters around the capital, as well as for those attending concerts, test match cricket and Glastonbury Festival. Families of pupils sitting GCSE and A-level exams are advised to make alternative arrangements for getting to school during the rail strikes, and NHS patients are being urged to plan ahead for appointments. Now let's take a look at what people around the capital think about the strikes.
Look, at the end of the day, I understand where they're coming from, they don't have great working conditions, they need to improve things, but it also adversely impacts a lot of people's lives. People got to get to work, people got to make a living, people might have important events to attend, so I wish there was some other way that maybe we could work around this.
I think it should be sorted out by the government, but Boris Johnson wants the strike to happen so that they stop talking about all his problems. The national insurance rise he brought in, the immigration policy, he wants that all to vanish, and he wants to make the railway workers the scapegoat for everything.
So I was doing A-levels last week, I've just finished now, and when there was the strikes last Tuesday, it caused so many problems. Like, people in my year missed A-levels because of the strikes. So next week is going to be a problem. For me, I'm done, so it's not that big an issue, but in general, they cause problems. They earn enough.
Obviously, it's frustrating being students having to have A-levels be disrupted by stuff like that, but you got to see the other side of it. If there is bad conditions, then they've got to do something to improve those conditions.
The Transport Minister Grant Shapps has called this a disappointing move because the government committed £16 billion or £600 per household to keep our railways running through the pandemic while ensuring not a single worker lost their job. The Office for the Transport Secretary also said that the railway is still on life support with passenger numbers 25% down, and anything that drives away even more of them risks killing services and jobs. So where does the Mayor of London fit into these TfL strikes? Well, the RMT union told me that despite efforts to meet with the Mayor in an attempt to fix a dispute about the TfL strikes, the Mayor has not responded. Now, given TfL are striking due to changes to their pension and job cuts, I reached out to Sadiq Khan's office about this, and here's what they told me. They said in a statement that at the heart of this industrial action is the government's appalling approach to public transport across the country, not least its continued resistance to delivering sustainable funding TfL desperately needs. They went on to say that in London, TfL has made it clear that nobody has or will lose their job and that there is no proposed changes to pension. That's why the Mayor urges the unions to call off this action and work with TfL to find a resolution. He also urged the train operating companies, the trade unions and the government to work together to resolve this national dispute to protect London's economic recovery. So what do you guys think? Do you think it's fair that they are striking? Let us know in the comments below.